Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Destiny's Princess, a war story, a love story. And we are doing Kotaro's endings today, probably both of them in one if it's like Hanbei's and they're kind of short. So we'll see how long they are, hopefully they'll fit in one. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. So, foolishly I'm gonna say I'm sorry I can't go with you, Kotaro, but hopefully he'll stay here with me instead. I'm sorry. I gave him my answer. Eagle, fly free. No, don't fly free, stay with me. I'm sorry. I couldn't comply with Kotaro's invitation to go on ahead. Kotaro's face sulked into sadness right before my eyes. But, come back to get me. I immediately hugged Kotaro.
Princess?
You can call me Saya. You did a moment ago, didn't you? I put a lot of force into the hand I had around Kotaro's back. I wanted to tell him that I really did want to go with him. Some of the citizens and vassals might have survived. I can't leave them like this. Not to mention, I was sure the neighboring countries wouldn't leave us alone. I was sure some of them might come and attack us. Well, I'm not exactly a strategist. What are you gonna do? Everyone else is dead. You think you can lead them by yourself, Saya? We'd lost most of our troops and wouldn't be able to put up a fight. But I'll go. Once this nation's fate has been settled, I'll be sure to go with you.
Then I'll stay.
Good boy, Kotaro! Yay! I interrupted him with a kiss. That's no good.
Why?
I mean, you really want to see the outside world, right? I already know that.
Saya.
He'd said there were unknown lands beyond the river. The people in the castle had already forgotten Kotaro. His subordinates had as well. I was sure it would be painful for him to be stuck here in that kind of situation. For the time being, you should see the outside world in my place. And, if you find something pretty, come back and show it to me from time to time.
Are you really okay with that?
I nodded. That's for the best, for me as well. You better come back. After a long silence, he shook his head with a sour face on.
I can't do that.
Why?
They're probably going to arrange your marriage, right? That's the best way to bring peace.
Now that you bring it up, you're right. I didn't even think about it.
You need to think about those kind of things.
Oh, I never saw him make that face before, but that's a really pouty face. It's so cute. Kotaro was perplexed.
I won't have it. I can't leave you. It's dangerous and there's nothing else I can do.
Kidnap me then. That's rude. I'm not that careless. I smiled and put my head on his chest. Until I can go with you, I won't go off with anybody else. He embraced me and whispered into my ear.
Hey.
What is it?
Before I leave, can I make you mine, Saya?
Does that mean what I think it means? I blushed. Right now?
Yeah. Are you against it?
No, but it's so sudden. Kotaro was flustered and put his lips on my ear.
I want to make sure your entire body remembers me, so no one steals you away. I'll come back for you, no matter what. I'll even come back to check up on you. But I want you to promise me before I go on my journey.
I promise, I promise.
Come on, can't we?
Kotaro's voice tickled my earlobes. He's so unfair. I muttered to myself in my mind. His voice, his gaze, and his usual childish behavior were all different. It felt like the strength in my hips was about to give out.
Saya?
He called my name into my earlobe. There was nothing else I could do. Without thinking, I nodded, and his behavior changed, as if he'd been tricking me. He smiled. We went into the forest. Kotaro found a gentle slope and put his clothes on the soft grass. The trees hid us, and it was quiet. It was almost like we were in a cave.
Sorry for choosing a place like this.
That's okay. Anywhere's fine as long as I'm with you. No, this place is pretty. Beyond his shoulders, I could see the beautiful night sky between the trees. The grass was damp with evening dew. The foliage was lit up from the faint moonlight. The castle wasn't too far away.
In my eyes, you look prettier to me, Saya.
Stop staring at me like that. I twisted my body. Kotaro smiled and hugged me. His skin was so warm to the touch.
You are the most beautiful treasure I've ever found, Saya. I'll make sure to come back and carry you away with me.
Okay, I'll be waiting. We exchanged a deep kiss. It would probably take some time before I could leave the castle, but I would have the memories from that day. That's why I was certain that I wouldn't continue waiting in agony. The sky turned white. I could hear small birds chirping in the clear morning sky. We embraced each other for a while and dozed off into sleep. Later, Kotaro woke me up.
You need to dress yourself soon, or someone's going to see you.
That would be a problem.
It's a problem for me, too. It's better if I'm the only one who can see you like this.
Jeez. So happy. We looked at each other for a brief moment. After that, we kissed. Make sure you come back to me.
You don't have to tell me. I'll go and find some pretty things.
Come back with a whole bunch of pretty stones. Kotaro helped me put on my kimono and smiled.
Once you get dressed, I'll take you close to the castle.
I dressed myself and went to the castle. After one night, the anxiety in my chest ached. I wondered how many of the citizens and vassals had survived. If I was all alone, I wouldn't know how I could apologize to Kotaro. He accompanied me up to the castle walls, and my feet felt weak because of my anxiety. Kotaro held my shoulders out of sympathy.
Saya, are you okay?
Kotaro, I was scared. The moment I lifted my head up to say that, I was surprised to see his face. Kotaro had disappeared. And in his place, I heard a familiar voice. Princess! Oh! I rushed over to the handmaid, and she held on to me. I didn't see you. I thought something had happened to you, and I'm sorry for worrying you. She wiped her tears with her sleeve, and I felt guilty from the bottom of my heart. Last night, I neglected my duties. No, it's fine. Seeing you safe is enough. I'm glad to see you're safe, too. Where is everyone else? They're over there. All of the civilians are safe. Thank goodness. That was such good news in our time of peril. With a castle like this, I thought that would have been impossible. How did you escape? The handmaid looked a bit confused. It was strange, but the prince led us to safety. Huh? The castle had been surrounded by demons, and he'd brought us through a secret passage. The castle had fallen as soon as we'd gotten outside. But the strange thing is, the prince had already passed away. At that time, nobody had thought it strange that the prince had let us out. I see. And where is that person now? He disappeared before I knew it. Everyone was sure he'd returned to the heavens. The prince she'd referred to had most likely been Yukimura. However, everyone had forgotten about him. Yukimura had returned to his original world. I was sure that was what had happened. Oh, that's right! She clapped her hands together and then put one hand in her sleeve. Just before we'd left the castle, I was able to retrieve this from your room. My jewels? Oh, what is it? I thought you'd held this dear, so... Huh? The handmaid frowned in confusion. Her hand was covered in ash as she brought something out. That's weird. It hadn't caught on fire when we'd escaped the castle. What is that? She opened her hand, and on it were colorful gemstones covered in ash. Oh my! They were the pretty stones Kotaro had given me. The box burned up, but the stones seemed to be fine. Thank you, I'm so happy. I took the small stones and looked up to a nearby tree. My eyes met with Kotaro's as he watched over me from the shadows of the leaves. Aww. He suddenly smiled. With a nod, he disappeared. I was sure he was going to go beyond the river to some unknown land to find beautiful things. He carried his flute in his hands. Was he going to bring the dogs with him? Princess! I watched Kotaro as he disappeared, and the handmaid looked at me curiously. No, it's nothing. I shook my hand and smiled with all my might. Well then, I have to pull myself together. There's much to be done. Let's work together with everyone and do this. Yes! And so, when things calmed down in the castle, I would leave with Kotaro. We would search for beautiful things beyond the unknown lands. Beyond of the ground. Geez, with these English translations. A few months after the castle and the demons had disappeared, I lived in a building that had nearly burned down and worked to revive the country. Many things had happened during that time. First, the surrounding nations began to move. Some of them even came to attack us, just as I predicted. But it doesn't hurt or itch at all. I sipped my tea with a composed face. We don't even have soldiers to fight a battle in the first place. Besides, even if they came in to plunder or destroy us, there's already nothing left.
That's true.
A hidden voice echoed from somewhere.
But isn't it dangerous for a girl? There's a lot of beauties in this nation.
Oh, you're good at flattery.
Their leader is a princess, after all.
You flatter me even more. I'm sure you say that to all the girls, don't you?
No, of course not. Despite my looks, I've been faithful.
I wonder.
Don't doubt me. I'm telling the truth. So, what else happened?
You beat me to it. We'd asked the nations with good reputations and the shogunate for help. Before long, this country would vanish. I felt guilty and annoyed for having to surrender the thing my ancestors had handed down to me. But I would make sure it wasn't used for anything bad. I would make sure of it. I picked up my teacup and let out a long sigh. People's heads spin when they're pushed into a corner.
Does that mean you can come with me before too long?
Kotaro suddenly appeared and smiled with his entire face. He then came closer to me. Hey, I told you over and over that you can't come out. Before I could finish my sentence, I heard the handmaid's voice from outside. Princess, can I come in? Yes, come in. Kotaro quickly fell forward and hid himself. Fell forward? I was flustered and raised my voice. Would he camouflage himself with a carpet? With a wooden floor? The handmaid entered and tilted her head in confusion. Is something the matter? You spoke in such a strange tone. Not to mention, it sounded like you were talking. It's nothing. I was talking to myself. More importantly, what is it? Right. Would you like some more tea? Also, Masamitsu from the neighboring countries sent over some jelly. I thought you might like it. Oh. I was about to say I wanted to eat it, but I felt something strange and stopped. You should eat it then with everyone else. I'll be fine without it. Oh, but you love jelly. How come? I'll be in trouble if I put on some weight because of it. She tilted her head again. You won't gain any weight from it. Well, I have to ready myself for the day. I think I'm about to run away. That's why you guys should eat the sweets. Are you sure? If that's the case, I'll oblige. Huh? She looked at the windowsill. There was a big spiral shell laying on the top of it. Oh, what a pretty shell. Isn't it? If you put it up to your ear, apparently you can hear the ocean. How charming! But how did you get this? It's a rarity, as we don't have the ocean nearby. That's a secret. The handmaid left, and in her place Kotaro appeared with a sour face on.
Oh, I heard that. Masamitsu is the second son from the neighboring country and is courting you.
I knew that's why you'd come back. You'd also heard that I'd refused him, right?
But he hasn't given up, right? He's trying to attract your affection with sweets.
He's just a kind person.
I wonder.
Truth be told, I was hiding something from Kotaro. After I'd refused his proposal, I told him that I'd made an oath to my future husband. At any rate, I kept it a secret that I'm going to throw away my title and abandon my country. I'd made many preparations in secret. The day I would leave was close by.
What? Why are you giggling?
I'll tell you later. But more importantly, since you're here, let's fly to the sea. Together one more time. I wondered what kind of sound the seashell would make if I put it up to my ear while flying. Kotaro put his hand on my chin and made a serious face.
Oh, that's fine, but if you've gained any more weight, it might not fly.
Hey! How rude! I'm not the least bit heavy.
Oh, I wonder. You might have been constantly eating the second son's sweets. I'll touch you later and make sure with my own 2 hands.
Oh, Kotaro! He smiled as he said that. I slapped him as hard as I could on the back of his head. Oh yeah, that was a happy ending. That was a good ending! Yay! Sequel date scenario now available for Kotaro. Hooray! Oh, Kotaro, you're so much better than Hanbei. Alright, now let's check out his other ending. Okay, I'll go with you. Okay, I'll go with you. I gave him my answer. Buried dreams. Okay, I'll go with you. I told Kotaro I'd go with him.
Really?
Yes.
We'll never come back here. Are you sure you're okay with that?
Yes, I don't mind. I hugged Kotaro. The castle I'd so desperately tried to protect had burned down. I was sure the people and the vassals were all gone. No, moreover, Kotaro was the only person who was important to me. He stared at me as if he was probing me.
I won't ask you again.
I said I didn't mind, didn't I? I'll go with you to the ends of the earth. Kotaro's face changed. What?
Oh, I hear you loud and clear.
Eee! He scooped me up in his arms and started sprinting. Kotaro, where are you going?
Didn't you just say you'll come with me to the ends of the earth?
I did, but you could at least tell me where we're going. To the ends of the earth.
It doesn't matter. We'll go somewhere no one can find us. Once we get there, I'll make you mine, Saya.
You're not going to make me mine in the forest right now like you did in the other route? Huh? My cheeks were burning up. This is all so sudden.
No, it's not. Up until now, I've watched you sleep and held off from putting my hands on you. But your heart is already mine. That's why I have to get your body, too.
But it really is too soon. That's not what you said before. Eee! He threw me down onto a soft bunch of grass. Did he have to throw me onto it? Couldn't he have laid me gently onto it? I guess he's a little eager. Wait, Kotaro, you're being too rough. I'd said those words instinctively. I quickly held my tongue. Kotaro stood up tall in front of me, and his eyes looked like they were shining. They were like a wild beast's eyes. Ah! Kotaro quickly started. He bit my neck and peeled off my clothes with his mouth. Wow, he is passionate. Wait, Kotaro!
I won't wait any longer. Didn't I just tell you that?
Kotaro took off his clothes and covered me once again. He bitingly kissed me. After our long kiss, Kotaro smiled and started to talk to me.
You'll be with me for the rest of my life.
I'd forgotten. His heartlessness from the time with the demon. His ferocious aura when he calmed the dogs down with just his stare. There was a beast sleeping inside of Kotaro. I was sure it was a wild and noble beast. I could sense it as he put his hands and lips on my skin. After Kotaro had eaten me up, I was sure he'd consume every last part of me and make me his. But that would make me very happy. After Kotaro had fulfilled his lust, I dozed off in his arms. It was morning when I'd opened my eyes.
Good morning, Saya.
I woke up after hearing his cheerful voice, feeling the sun's rays. I woke my body up, and he smiled childishly like he always had. He then laughed. His beastly nature from last night had already disappeared. Oh, you seem to be in a good mood.
Well, that's because you look so cute when you're sleeping.
His lips were stretched out. Thanks. Geez, his mood was constantly changing. It was making me go crazy. I thought that part of him was cute.
After you get dressed, let's go find some food.
Now that you mention it, we haven't eaten anything since last night.
You're hungry, aren't you? I'll find something delicious in a jiffy.
For now, we left the hill and went down to the land near the castle. We crossed the river and aimed to go past the mountains. The villages we passed were empty, but Kotaro said the fields had plenty of food in them. However, if we just take it without asking, won't that cause problems?
They left without taking care of the fields. Those people are already in other countries. If we just leave the fruits and vegetables, animals will feed on them. No one will care.
We came out of the forest as we spoke to each other. We'd come out of the place we'd been to the day we'd flown together. We looked at each other. Why is there a town here?
The last time I looked, everything was burned down. Where are we?
Kotaro made a grim face. I thought that was the hill we'd been to before, but was it not? Are we in Kotaro's world? I've never seen houses built like this. It looked similar to the castle town I knew, but it was a little different. Kotaro, where did you bring me yesterday? Kotaro? Before I knew it, Kotaro stared at the road as if he was possessed by something. Kotaro, hey, what's wrong?
I know this place.
Huh?
I know it. Here is where I...
Kotaro suddenly looked confused and helplessly fell onto the ground. Is this where he died before? Kotaro, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well?
Sir Kotaro.
Someone spoke over me and called to Kotaro. A young man with an agile-looking body stood behind me. As Kotaro lifted his head, the man looked at him and rushed over in delight.
Is it really you, Sir Kotaro? Where have you been all this time? You're... I've been searching for you for such a long time. At any rate, I'm glad you're safe. Please go back to the mansion for now. Everyone will be pleased.
Kotaro stared at the man. His face gradually calmed down and returned to normal. Kotaro, how are you?
I'm fine.
Kotaro stood up straight and hugged my shoulders. He then spoke to the man.
This is my wife. That's how I'm going to treat her from now on. Oh, I understand. For now, let's go back to the mansion. Your wife can come too. Okay.
Kotaro started walking and spoke softly so only I could hear.
I remembered everything.
You remembered? Are you talking about your real memories?
Yeah.
Kotaro nodded and his face was stiff.
It looks like we've come to my world somehow. It looks like you've tagged along as well.
I see. So, that's why the town seems so different.
Yeah.
Kotaro nodded. From the beginning, I'd intended to go with him no matter the destination. Maybe that's why. Even after hearing I'd been brought to his world, I wasn't very surprised. Kotaro's attitude worried me more. Hey, why are you making such a grim face? It's almost like you're unhappy you remembered everything. Kotaro smiled bitterly.
Is that how I look?
Yes.
I see. In any case, I'll talk to you once we get there.
And then, Kotaro told me the surprising truth. A thief?
Yeah, my employer's household was demolished, so I've been living as a thief.
In a room in the small mansion, Kotaro had a rough smile on. So that's how it was.
I remembered the truth and finally understood your feelings.
Huh?
I have a number of men I have to take care of. I can't leave them behind and abandon them. We'll have to save our adventures of exploring unknown lands for later.
There was sorrow in his bitter smile. There was sorrow in his wild eyes. His current behavior and how he'd acted when he tortured the demon were connected somehow.
Princess, what's wrong?
Huh?
I can arrange for someone to take you in.
No, I want to go with you, no matter where you go.
You probably won't live a life of luxury, but you'll live an honest life. If you stay by my side, you'll become a bandit's wife.
That's okay, I can live with that. I smiled bitterly and shook my head. Don't say something stupid like that. I told you I'd go with you to the ends of the earth. I got close to him. I won't be a bandit's wife, I'll be your wife, Kotaro. That's all I'll be.
Saya.
We kissed each other. This was the path I'd chosen. From now on, I would live in an unknown world together with Kotaro. Reckoning day, reckoning night. Please let us still have a good ending. Don't let Kotaro die. Several months had passed. Kotaro acted as the thieves' boss. They mainly aimed for the men who destroyed their employer. Sometimes, when I thought the house was empty, he'd come back holding a mountain of treasure.
Saya, I'm back. Here is a present for you.
He threw a beautiful fabric at me, and I smiled faintly. Thanks, Kotaro. It's very pretty. But more than any of those treasures, I liked the gemstones he'd picked up for me. I was sure Kotaro felt the same, he just didn't say it. We were alone at night, wearing fancy clothes and staring at the moon. I talked to him solemnly. Hey, Kotaro. You're not going to search for those pretty gemstones anymore?
For now.
Kotaro then continued speaking in a joking manner.
It's fine, because as far as I know, I already have the prettiest thing by my side.
But I actually knew the truth. Beyond his talkative exterior was a lonely interior. He was longing for freedom. Things continued like that until one day. Kotaro hadn't returned for a while. No! He'd better be okay! I was worried, and after a few days, a notice had arrived. Kotaro's subordinates had been arrested by the shogunate.
Saya, please run away with us. The shogunate will surely come here as well.
Kotaro's subordinate bowed his head, but I shook mine. No, I'll wait for Kotaro.
But Kotaro might already be...
He had difficulty speaking and averted his eyes. I smiled at him. Even if that's true, I'll still wait here. I'd said I would follow him anywhere. I would only go with him. That was why I would wait forever until he returned. Finally, the subordinate that kept fearing for my safety had left. I continued to sit alone. I thought about a copious amount of things in that time. I'd fled without checking to see if my countrymen were safe or not. Maybe I was being punished for my actions back then. Before I knew it, my body had become weak. I couldn't even sit and fell onto the floor. Kotaro. My hoarse voice escaped my lips, and my vision steadily became dark. Suddenly, the sound of a flute? It really was the sound of a flute. There was no mistake about it. It was Kotaro playing the flute. Kotaro! I got up, and suddenly my body felt very light. It felt like I'd gotten rid of my kimono when I stood up. I leapt outside as if I was flying in space. Did I die? How long was I sitting there waiting for him? Kotaro! Kotaro was standing there with the huge moon behind him. Oh, Kotaro, you look beautiful, and even though we're both dead, I'm sure. He smiled broadly when he looked at me. It was the smile he hadn't shown me for a long time. Kotaro, you've come back.
Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting.
Is everything okay now?
Yeah, it is. There'd been a lot of trouble, but everything's over now.
Kotaro smiled and held his hand out to me.
Let's go, Saya. Let's go search for pretty things.
Okay. I took his hand with momentous force. We were finally going beyond that river, over the mountains to an unknown world. Just the two of us, to the ends of the earth. Forever and ever. They're not going to give us a conclusive we're dead thing? I assume that we died. But that's fine, because we got to be together in the afterlife. That's what I wanted with Hanbei. They couldn't give us a nice little afterwards with Hanbei like that, you know? Or, I don't know, maybe we didn't die. Maybe, I wasn't really sitting there that long. Maybe I was only there for like a day. And we're both alive. And we went off to another country alive together. Who knows? It was kind of, not very descriptive about what exactly happened. But I'm okay with that, because it was still happy. Oh, Kotaro, I love you so much. He was wonderful. I love the fact that he can be childlike and sweet, but then he can also be aggressive and passionate. That's the kind of guy I really like. And he has that dark side too. He's got everything I like in a guy. Well, that's it for Kotaro. At the moment that I'm recording this, I'm still waiting for votes to come in on Patreon as to who we should do next, so I don't know who's coming up next yet. But whoever that will be, I hope to see you in my future videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye everybody.